Good morning and assalamu alaikum to our listeners and viewers. You are tuned in to the mid-morning talk with myself, Asiha Davids, and we are joined by a very special guest with us this morning. Her name is Madison Bannon. She is an activist, solidarity organizer, and BDS coalition organizer. Madison, welcome.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. So, I mean, maybe you want to give listeners and viewers just some background on your activism and messages of solidarity before we jump into the upcoming TTIC protest.
Sure. Yeah, I wear many hats in the activism space, and primarily through my neighborhood organizing group, which is Kensington Palestine Solidarity Group, and through the BDS Coalition. I came to activism actually as a child, so it's kind of just been in my blood: racial justice, gender justice, climate justice, and in the wake of the ongoing genocide in Palestine, a lot of my attention has been turned to doing Palestine solidarity work. And that's how I know Fasicha as well, through the PSA and the PSA Youth League and the Let Gaza Eat campaign. So yeah, that's me. That's how I come to this work. And I am, just trying to see a safe and free Palestine in my lifetime. An end to colonialism and neocolonialism and extraction and the pain and harm that that violence and Zionism and ongoing colonial forces of Israel perpetuate within the occupied Palestine territories.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us, Madison. Or, I mean, I call you Maddie. That's off air. Now we can do it on air as well. And I can both in my personal and my professional capacity, give a testament to your hard work and the amount of voluntary hours you've given to the cause for Palestine and solidarity work. It remains incredibly admirable. And speaking about that hard work, you've been, incremental in assisting with the organization of the upcoming TTIC protest. It's happening on the 21st of August. What is it about? What is the main messaging about it, and how can people at home get involved?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks. So the protest at DTIC, that's the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition, which has locations in Pretoria and Cape Town and Durban. It is about calling for an energy embargo, specifically, as well as a larger end to trade with Israel. When we talk about an energy embargo, what we're talking about is coal. Coal is shipped from South Africa to Israel to the tune of 1.6 million tons since October the 8th of 2023. So since the genocide began in earnest, we've sent 1.6 million tons of coal through the Richards Bay port to Israel, straight from South Africa. So while we took Israel to court with the ICJ, with the ICC, we're partners in the Hague Group, all the while we're talking like we are moral leaders in this space, and in the back we're sending coal that furthers a genocide. So that coal powers between 12 and 17% of the Israeli grid. Israel likes to tout itself as like a green utopia, full of renewable energies, but the reality is between 12 and 17% of the Israeli grid is powered by coal. So South Africa, Colombia, and Russia are usually Israel's largest coal providers. So we kind of alternate as top three, depending on what's happening and how much. It really just goes by the ship loads, which we track as activists. When do the ships leave and how much coal is on them? So that's been the case for a long time. So the Colombian president issued his own energy embargo on Israel a while back now. That has been circumvented by a lot of corporate loopholes. And so Colombia hasn't dropped off as one of those top three, but as they work to close the loopholes, tighten the restrictions, South Africa keeps rising, right? Russia's got its own energy needs. It's got its own thing it's doing in Ukraine. And so South Africa has really been filling the gaps. So we've sent 1.6 million tons of coal to Israel. That coal is used to power the grid, which provides energy for the military infrastructure. It provides energy for illegal settlements, for displacement, for settler violence, for, you know, for the ongoing genocide. And so if we mean to say that we are moral leaders in a democracy space and an anti-apartheid space, then we need to put our money where our mouth is, and our government, DTIC, should be accountable to us as people, as organizers, as activists on the ground, as friends of Palestine, as humans negatively affected by coal, by the pollution that it causes and the planetary warming that it causes, rather than a few capitalists making a ton of money off of what is, you know, blood energy. Yeah.
100%. I mean, Madison, you touched on some incredibly pivotal points there, speaking to how this ties in internationally and within our international relations as South Africa, but also the political double standards that we are seeing from our government. For people at home, I mean, this is happening on the 21st. This is happening as a national protest in Pretoria, Cape Town, and Johannesburg. For people at home, if they want to attend, what would you, or they don't know whether they should attend this protest or not, what would you say to them to encourage them to be there?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think this whole campaign, I think, is a really uniting campaign because it combines the issue of Palestine and the genocide in Palestine with the issue of climate. Burning coal is obviously bad for the climate, bad for the climate overall in the terms of how much carbon it releases into the air that warms the planet, that causes climate change. And then also for our communities here in South Africa. We have some of the worst air pollution in the world in places like eMalahleni, where the coal is being dug up out of the ground, extracted to be sent overseas, rather than even powering our own grid. And then we sit here with the lights off, which is just wild to me. But at the same time, I mean, I'm not advocating for us to burn more coal in South Africa, but if our communities are being harmed on the ground in coal mining communities so that we can make the planet hotter, so that we can contribute to a genocide, it's just like it doesn't make sense. It's absolutely ridiculous that this would be the policy of the South African government. So I say that as a call to action for people who are impacted, coal impacted communities, for climate activists, and for Palestinian activists. This is a chance to really come together and show the South African government that its people are not going to remain siloed and blind to this massive trick that they're playing on us. In terms of actually attending the actions, they are happening at the DTIC offices, like we said. That's in Pretoria, in Durban, and in Cape Town. So if you're near any of those places, please attend. The more people we have, the better, the more a show of force it is. We've had a number of actions in the past at Glencore specifically, which is the largest mining company in the world, that have been well attended. DTIC offices are a little harder to get to. So we really want to make sure that we've got a lot of attendance so the government cannot ignore us.
100%. Thank you. And thank you for that call to action. I mean, I'm ready to go right now. And I hope I hope that listeners and viewers at home are feeling the same way. We are right now is that matters have drastically escalated in Gaza and in South Africa as well, with mining communities. Yesterday was a commemoration of Marikana. And we saw, again, even with that, there was just a complete lack of accountability from government. And I think this is the opportunity, like you said, for different movements to come together, show their support, show their solidarity, and have their voices heard. Madison, I mean, before you go, is there any message you want to maybe share with the youth regarding the energy embargo? How can they get more involved, and how can they speak more to this? Also, where can people get hold of you?
Cool. Yeah. I mean, I think for young people, like I get to call myself a youth just for a couple more months. We need to carry the mantle forward. A lot of the activism and organizing is done by people with extra time. A lot of those people are older folks. But the reality is that younger people make up a massive section of the population. And when the government doesn't see them up in arms, they can easily kind of ignore it. So if the youth can get involved and say, you know, this is the future, I want to build the future that I want to live in. I don't want to live in this world full of pain and harm and violence and pollution and extraction and exploited communities. I don't want to live there. I want to live in a better world. And if we can take up that charge, we cannot be ignored. We really cannot be ignored. We are too youthful, we're too energetic, we've got too much power, and the government really knows that. That's why they distract us with other nonsense stuff. So we really should be taking that mantle forward and putting our feet on the ground, our boots on the ground in this kind of activism. And I forget the other question you asked me. Sorry.
No, 100%. And I think, I mean, you said something so beautiful. You know, we have to build the futures that we want to live in. And we have limited time to do that. You know, when you're watching the headlines, you know, when you're not turning a blind eye to what's happening locally and globally, it raises so much concern. And I hope to see a good turnout at the DTIC protest on the 21st of August, happening between 12 and 2 p.m. The other question was, where can people get hold of you?
Yeah, I am trying to stay off of social media, so you can't find me there. Thank goodness. Um, but I organize with the Kensington Palestine Solidarity Group, so getting in touch with us via the internet channels is great. I also work with BDS, the Boycott, Divestment, and Sanctions Campaign, and can be found there. And yeah, I do writing all over the place, so you can look out for that. And you can find me at all the protests with my most dedicated, decorated, creative signs, because that is one thing that I just absolutely love about being part of activism, is that chance for creativity. So you can find me there with yeah, the most interesting signs, and usually my 7-year-old son alongside me as well.
Oh, that's really beautiful. Thank you, Madison, for sharing your activism and creativity with us this morning. That is covering the DTIC protests happening on the 21st of August between 12 and 2. And if you want to find Madison, you need to find her on the ground, ready
That's
to
it.
work and hold government accountable. Hopefully, we can make some changes and shifts to build the futures we want to live in. Thank you for joining us, Madison.
Thank you, Fasiha.
Bye.